Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Weber with Local Umbrella Media. We're here with another episode of Simply Local San Diego, where we meet interesting San Diegans doing amazing things in the community. And we have another one here today. My special guest today is Janet Beronio. Did I pronounce that right?
That's right.
She's with the North San Diego Business Chamber, and you are the international travel consultant. Is that correct?
That works. Yes.
Okay, sorry. At least I'm close, as long as it doesn't drive you in a different direction than you want to be. Well, thanks for being with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate
forward
it.
to it.
I've been a chamber member. The North San Diego Business Chamber is an amazing organization. You do great things, and I'm really happy with what it's brought me and my business and the connections I've made there, and I appreciate it. And we've promoted your amazing journeys to Vietnam, and you can tell us about the other ones, but happy to do it. And I know our readers like seeing it. So tell us a little bit about, what you do there and why, if people are wanting to do take international trips, why they should choose possibly your trips versus doing their own thing.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me again, Brad. And glad that you've been happy with the chamber. Hopefully all our members feel the same way. I think they do.
I hear it a lot. Yeah.
Good. Well, one of the things that we offer that maybe a lot of people don't know about is the travel program. And it is available to chamber members as well as non-members. We actually have travelers who bring friends and family from around the country. So, anybody can sign up for these trips. I've hosted maybe 6 now, and those have included the ones you mentioned, Vietnam and South Africa, Croatia, Tuscany. We've had a lot of wonderful trips, and we have a couple coming up in the next 6 months that I'd love to talk to you about a little bit more. But I think the reason why everybody should join us is there's a lot of people that there are a lot of people that like to travel independently, but then there's a lot of people that like somebody to take care of all that for them. And I think that's what the chamber offers. It gives you an opportunity to travel with, some new folks, make new friends, but also take away the hassle of planning about the trip. So that's why, I think for those who love traveling and exploring new places, this is a perfect way to go.
Great. Can you tell me about how many people? It's always a group travel arrangement, right? And how many travelers normally travel?
Yeah, generally we try to have somewhere between 20 and 30 on a trip.
Okay. And you're in charge of planning out the itineraries for everyone, or
No, I don't plan the itineraries. We have an agency that we work with, so they provide the itinerary. What I do is, just as a representative for the chamber, I try to help them, if issues come up during the trip or they have questions or things like that, I'm there to help host the trip and, make them feel comfortable and have a good time. And then before we leave, I spend a lot of time with our travelers, just answering questions, how do I get my seat? That kind of thing.
Got it. So it's a friendly chaperone almost, and it's part of the team.
Yes, but I let them do what they want. I'm not their chaperone, but
well, that's probably the wrong word. It's no one I could come up with right now. But some of the prices I saw in the ads we've run, it seems like a great deal. I don't know because it's a group or because of chamber connections, but anyway, the prices seem amazing.
Yeah, they're terrific, and I think that's why we've had a lot of interest since these countries have opened back up after the pandemic, and you can't get airline fares for some of these prices of the trips are. So you have like the one coming up in the Vietnam trip in February, and I'll tell you what the dates are and all that, so people will know about it. But that one's $24.99. So that includes your airfare, your in-country air from the north of Vietnam to the south of Vietnam, your hotels, your meals, all of your excursions. You don't have to do anything, and it's for $24.99. Includes everything.
Is that per person, or do you have to go as a couple, or are there restrictions as far as how many people?
Yeah, that is per person. And if you want a single room, there is a single supplement. Most people are traveling with somebody, but if there's somebody who wants to travel on their own, but they're looking for a roommate, we also try to, help connect people. So if
Got it.
somebody says, I'm traveling by myself, I'd love to have a roommate. If there's somebody else traveling by themselves, we'll try to connect them and see if it works out. And then they both avoid that single supplement.
Gotcha. Now, do you know who you're traveling with prior to, or do you show up at the airport and meet everyone else? Or it seems like a lot of the chamber members go as a group too. So you kind of know, at least you have a common bond of some
Yeah.
sort.
I would say, probably the trips I've been on, we probably have 50% to 60% of the travelers have traveled with the chamber before.
Okay.
So they generally find, other people that they know. And then, we're together for a week or 10 days, whatever the thing is. So you get to know people pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah. Make new friends.
Well, I've traveled a lot in my past, not that much recently, honestly, but I've done both. I've done all by myself and I've done group tours and things like that. And there's always trade-offs and things. But one
Right.
of the great things about the group, like you said, you don't have to make all those decisions. It sounds cool to go by yourself and stuff, but especially if you're going to a place you've never been to, like a Vietnam or something, you spend a lot of your time asking questions, trying to navigate around, and pretty soon your vacation's over and you spend a lot of time studying and navigating and all those non-fun things versus exploring and doing the things that are enjoyable. So I'm a fan of, if it's a right fit to go with a group that kind of makes those decisions for you.
Right. And there's a lot of things that we've had the opportunity to explore in some of these countries that I don't think, if I were traveling on my own independently, I'm not sure that I would have done it because, we see artisans in their shops,
right,
and things like that maybe I wouldn't have been able to discover on my own. So
how long has this program been going along? When did it start? Like the Vietnam trips or the whole travel program with the chamber?
I would say probably at least 7-8 years.
Okay.
The early trips, I wasn't associated with those trips, but China many years ago, Spain, Ireland, and then in the last several years, the last 5 years at least, we've tried to do at least 2 trips a year. COVID kind of shut that down for a little while, but now we're back on track. So we actually are leaving for Paris October 6th. We have a group going to Paris in the south of France, which will be a great trip. And then, Vietnam in February. Well, actually, February, and then so we're back on track for a number of fun trips coming up.
So Vietnam, I know because we promoted it. You've been to Vietnam a few times. Is it pretty much the same itinerary, excuse me, every time you go, or is it do you change it up, or is it kind of the same? We go to the same places, which is, there's a benefit in that because you know exactly what you're going to do, and there's no bad surprises.
Yeah, the trip has been pretty much the same. Okay. So the one in coming up early 2023 will be very similar, if not exactly. The hotel might be different because there weren't a lot of hotels open when we went last April. We were actually the first group in country in Vietnam since the pandemic. They had closed down, so we were the first group in. So there weren't a lot of hotels open. So there may be a different hotel, but the itinerary would pretty much be the same.
Great. So we didn't explore this probably as much as we should have, but how did you come into your role as the chamber? You have a long history of travel expertise, correct? So that's how you acquired this role at the chamber.
My travel expertise is the travel I've done on my own.
Okay.
But I came into this role. I spent my career in the hospitality industry. Right. On a personal level, I love to travel, and I had been with the chamber and board chair for a while. And so probably in 2017, the CEO of the chamber, Debra Rosen, came up to me and said, "What would you think about, helping host some of these trips?" I said, "I'd love to, because I love to travel." So that's how I came about it. I'm not an expert, but I hope that I can help show people a good time and take care of any issues that arise.
Well, you're an expert in what a person likes from an experience. So, that's why you can transfer those skills onto where it matters. And that's people's, how much they enjoy the trips and things. So where's your favorite? You've gone on some of these trips, I'm sure, with the chamber, correct?
I have. I've gone on 6 now. I would say each one is different, so there's something unique about each one. But South Africa was incredible because we did we were in Kruger National Park and did a safari, and then we were all the way to the south of Africa at Cape Town. So it was tremendous. Vietnam was incredible, just because you hear and learned so much about the country, but had never visited it, and it was very unique. So that was wonderful. Tuscany was beautiful. The Rhine River cruise. There's just been a lot of them, and each one has something unique about it that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Got it. Yeah, the Vietnam trip is the one I keep looking at, saying one of these days I'm gonna.
You need to do it.
I know I do. Time just keeps floating by, So no, but I have talked to a lot of people by being connected with Debra and the chamber and things. So a lot of the travelers are chamber members, and I always get great feedback. Not only the price is incredible, but going with people and trust and get along with, and all those things are hugely important. So
and we're well taken care of on these trips. The agencies that we work with, have in-country guides that really take care of us from the time we get there till the time we depart. So it's been great.
Great. Is there anything else you want to explore? We're going to tell people how to get a hold of you. I assume you have space left. Not the Paris trip is coming up really quickly, right? Is that one full?
Yeah, the Paris trip is closed.
Okay.
But Vietnam is open, and that is in February. People can go to sdbusinesschamber.com and click on the travel section, and it will bring up the trips, which is Vietnam in February, and then April is the trip to Greece. Both of those still have places available, but we have a lot of interest in the trips, so I don't know how much longer that will last. Anyway,
so normally they fill up.
They do
months before you leave, so don't wait around just because it's not starting till February. You're going to miss out, right?
Right. And Vietnam is $24.99, and Greece is $34.99. Greece, just to mention real quickly, we're going to be, in addition to being in Athens, we'll be on the island of Santorini. We'll be on Mykonos. So a lot of great things to see in Greece. But anyway, they should go to sdbusinesschamber.com, click on the travel link. It'll pull up the flyer, which describes the itinerary for the trip, as well as the registration form, and then just fill it out and send it in.
And all the trips, I know I brought the ad we've been running, but are they all the same length of days, or are there different days, different lengths of trips?
Yeah, generally they're a week, 8 days, 9 days.
8 days, 10 days, 9 days. There's my answer if I would just read before asking a question. Okay, so that's a perfect length, really, because if you're going to go to all the expense and trouble to go, you don't want to go for 5 or 6 days. And sometimes, speaking for myself, it sounds great, but after 10 days, you're kind of ready to get back home.
And you have a lot of people that are working, so they can't take much more than that amount of time.
Exactly. Well, listen, I wish I could join you soon. I'm absolutely going to join you sometime, if not next year, the year after. But
I'll hold you to it.
Okay, please. I highly recommend it. I've heard lots of things about it, as I've said, and big fan of the chamber and what they do, and everything Debra and the crew there does is first class and well done, and they care about people. So you'll be in good hands. I suggest you give Janet a call. Reach out to the chamber website that's rolling across the screen, and enjoy some amazing travel next year.
Look forward to seeing everybody.
All right. Well, that's our show. Janet, thanks so much for being with us.
Brad.
I appreciate you having you. That's our show, Simply Local San Diego. This is simply great travel. So call the chamber, get on a great trip, memorable, make some memories, and we will see you next time. I do want to thank our sponsors, Attorney King, of course, Sequan Casino, IB Fitness, and this week, La Tip of La Jolla. Thanks for being with us.